Welcome back to the Life&Times podcast, and I'm your host, Lloyd Phillips.
And I'm Leighton Rowan.
Let's just get right to it. Summer's coming to an end here. It's that time of year. I know there's some things that I've done I didn't talk about. I'm a church camp sponsor sometimes. I've only done it twice.
Yeah.
Have you done
I've
it?
never done that.
Yeah, 2 times.
Like a counselor? What do you mean by sponsor?
Well, I think as a camp. When you say counselor, now I've watched 80s movies, so it's not like counselors really are counselors, but so I don't want to call myself that because that's what it feels like. I think I'm just a guy that's there.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah. Honestly, I did help serve the food about half the time, but there were some people that did it every time, so I probably could have been better about that. But
yeah.
If I'm just being real with you, I think I didn't purposely neglect those duties, but some people I think just loved it. They just sprint up there, and I would be sitting there. I'm like, well, I'm not really doing my part here, I don't think. But here's what 2 years ago, I did an episode about it, and I made some friends there, with people. We go to a fairly large church, so it's not like I see all these people on a daily basis, so I don't really know them, and that part's cool. Some people that I thought were different than I am. Oh, they're still different than I am, but they're cool, which I didn't know, right? Till I was in this kind of when you're confined in a cabin for a week with people you don't know,
you get to know them.
Yeah, and they're pretty cool people. Here's what I know. 2 years ago, I was with the high school kids. And I thought the experience was fine. Like I didn't mind being with the high school kids. For whatever, once again, there's a whole episode about it. Whatever. Some stories I remember, some I don't. You had to be there just to remember. But so they put me with 7th graders, and I'm instantly mad about it.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody consulted with me about the age group that I would be with, and I don't know if they're the youngest or the right next to it. But it's different, but I don't know yet, right? Because even though I have a kid that just passed 7th grade a couple years ago and one's coming up, you think I know their age group, but I just know them. I know the girls, and all our kids' friends are all pretty normal and sane and not like necessarily wild. Mm-hmm. Well, Allie gets a little carried away, but but they're all but they're all like normal and good kids. I'm not saying these kids aren't, but I'm saying they're boys. I don't have boys. I have 2 girls.
Yep.
These kids, this is not the church camp that I remembered 2 years ago. Yeah. But I don't realize, you got to tell them. And, I'm not a coach. I very well could be, I guess.
You do have a pretty good coaching resume.
I was in the military. Yeah. I am 1-0. If I got to remind everybody, I'm sure I talked about it. I'm 1-0 in the tournament soccer. What was that? Select Soccer League, whatever it was. I was a coach one time. I let some other guys handle some of the duties there, head coach, and I just monitored. Yeah, that's right. We had that talk. I'm 1-0. But you got to yell at these kids.
Oh yeah,
because you're like, hey guys, don't do that. We're at church camp, right? So it's not like I feel like they're on my team or they're my kids.
Yeah.
So, and they're other people's kids. So I'm like, hey guys, don't do that. Hey guys, don't do that. How many times I got to tell these kids? And then eventually I just start talking normal because I can't take it anymore. So that's what I'm like, kids, what did I tell you? I'm not telling you again. And I probably even said, don't be stupid. I probably even said that. I don't think you're supposed to say that at church camp, but these kids need to grow up. Anyway, but now, at the end of the week, yes, loved it. It was fun. It was cool. But there are differences. Here's what I don't understand. I don't get it. So every night I would take showers because it's 100 degrees, maybe 102. And no exaggeration, but it's like something like that. When you get a group of kids together that age, they don't all even take showers at nighttime.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there were a couple kids that maybe got it in the shower one time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, how do you do that as a human? Even when I was their age and I've sweated all day long, I wasn't going to just go in and go to bed. If you stick to the sheets, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
gross.
not. Listen, that's gross. I can't even get comfortable. If I lay in the sheets and I stick to it, I can't sleep.
No.
And you're like, well, how do you camp? You know, that'd probably be a good question, actually. So, like, sometimes when I camp, I'm not comfortable because I sweat all day, and you can't take a shower out in the middle of nowhere, not unless you're by a river. I don't know. I tough that out. But if I have the qualities of regular human beings, like, yeah, I want to take a shower.
Yeah.
And they just don't. I didn't notice the room smell, though. Like, you know, sometimes it has the funky odor. I didn't so much notice that. But just the food and trash that's all over the ground. Here's where I'm going. I'm saying all this story to get to this part. I, since childhood, have had some kind of phobia. Like, I cannot... I mean, as a kid, I couldn't even do this. If there were puddles of water on the pool deck surface at a public pool, even at somebody's house, and there's water on the concrete, I can't step in that puddle. It's that warm water. It's just gross. I can't do it. I can't even do that in a clean pool, concrete deck. I can't. I don't run around Big Splash with my shoes off.
That's disgusting.
I'm just saying, like, I don't.
Yeah.
Or whatever they call it these days. You know, there's like 18 different owners of that place. Safari Joe couldn't keep it together, I don't guess. What's it called now?
I have no clue. We just looked it
Big
up.
Splash.
Yeah, Big Splash.
Yeah, we know what it is. You live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We all know it's a Big Splash.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. The kids that would walk in and out of the bathroom, because of the showers and the bathrooms are all pretty close. So there's just puddles, and they're dirty puddles. Like, you can see the nastiness in the puddle. Kids would step in the puddle. I would watch them go from the shower and walk over to the urinals that has pee in the floor and stand in it. And I just, like, while brushing my teeth, I'm like, what are you kids doing? Like, you can't be that gross. Now, I didn't say anything to any of them. I can't do that. I physically can't do it.
I mean, for me, there's a big difference. Well, one, I wouldn't walk barefoot in Big Splash or some kind of water park like that. I couldn't do that. Or a public pool. At least put on slides. But a bathroom especially, there's a 0% chance that I would walk in there barefoot. Or without a shoe.
Oh,
socks, no way. Barefoot, there's no way. That's freaking disgusting.
I wouldn't even do it after they mopped it because the mop's dirty.
Yeah.
There's no way. I would.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I just don't know how people do it. I've told this story before, but if I walk in a bathroom, in a public bathroom, if I walk in a public bathroom and there is pee in front of the urinal, I'm not stepping in pee to pee.
Yeah.
And so I've said this before. I was like, you know how to keep your bathrooms clean them, right? And that sounds dumb, but what I mean by it is if you listen all the time, you've heard me say this is a rule I live by. If my stream runs out of juice there and I can't get it to the urinal anymore, once I've strained my bladder, you know, like the internal strain, where like you're tensing your muscles or whatever, trying to make the flow harder. Once it runs out, if I pee in the floor, that's your fault. I'm not stepping in pee. I'm not doing it. I'm not stepping in pee to pee.
No.
I'm gonna I'll pee on the floor. Well, you know, once the stream runs out, I'll give some effort, and then like once the stream's out, it's over after that.
Yeah, pee's going all over the floor.
I'm not stepping in pee. So I can tell you one thing. It's not happening. Anyway, you know, I bet you have a good time. And I did. I love church camp. I'm probably, you know, I always try to make this stuff funny, but even as an adult, I like that because I don't know, it kind of like resets you too as an adult.
Yeah.
Like it does. You get in there, it's like praise and worship for 6,000 people, like singing. Like it's a pretty amazing thing to watch. I always felt like that, so I was pretty excited to go. But we also know that I have a tendency to make fun of stuff too.
Yeah.
So you know, I got to try to get right. I got to try to get right. I don't always get right. So I was telling the other not counselors, sponsors, I would say, guys, I just want you to know that I will be evaluating your praise and worship skills tonight. And they're like, what? They don't know what that means. I had to come up with, on the fly. It wasn't I didn't write anything down. I just wanted to see them as sponsors. I wanted to know they were giving their best too.
Yeah.
So when they would start singing songs, I would stare directly, like like the guy to my right. It was Trent. I was with this Trent and Justin guy, and I would stare at Trent in his face. He wouldn't look at me though. He wouldn't make eye contact, and I didn't feel like he was giving his best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I evaluated him for all about 20 minutes of the praise and worship. I was singing too. I would sing in his ear, but he wouldn't look at me. And I would just like whisper things like, "Oh, bro, you're at about a 3. You're gonna have to pick it up because this is not good." well, so here's the thing, and he ignored me. Now he's younger. He was in my group. Yeah, he was in my group when I was there a couple years ago.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Right? Yeah. Yes, he was in my group. So I felt like, it was still, he's a sponsor now, but since he knows that, I'm an evaluator of and felt like he could have done a better job. So let's fast forward. So at nighttime, there was like another little thing inside our building. They got these other people that show up and do praise and worship. And I saw him like really singing, like really getting into it, because I wasn't standing beside him. And right then I thought like, I don't know if my evaluation system, if I should be doing that during praise and worship, because I don't think I made him feel real awkward, so he wouldn't sing. But he's gonna have to come out of his shell if he's gonna be a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you that right now. He stayed at about a 3. He didn't come up, by the way, that night. Next day, he didn't sit by me.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I was trying to encourage him. It was a good time though. This one night though, that people it was like dressed like your favorite Bible character. I think it said Old Testament Bible character is what it said. I don't know. People all wear whatever they wear, but then this one kid. Now we're going to service. It's 102 outside, and he walks out. And here's what's sad. It's because I've already conditioned my mind that these kids are 7th graders and they're not adults, and and you really see. Some of them are special. And so this kid walks past me, and he's got a sheet over his whole head and face. And I passed him in the hallway, and I didn't say anything because I don't I've been talking to this kid all week, so I passed him, didn't even register. I just go, whatever. I was changing clothes, whatever I was doing. And so I passed him as a sponsor. He gets closer to the door, about to walk out to the service, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I almost said his name. "What are you doing?" He's like, "What?" Like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just like my favorite character." I'm like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost." He said, "The Holy Ghost." I'm like, "You're not wearing that to service. Take the sheet off your head now." Remember, I was in there putting my shoes on. I think it was putting my shoes on, changing shoes. And he comes in, and I watch him take that sheet off. And when he took it off, he's like he couldn't breathe in it. And he was going to roll at 102 temperature, and apparently upset like that, I guess, through the thing. And he already couldn't breathe. I'm like, "You're right." He's like, "It was just hot." I'm like, "Then why were you wearing that, bro? You can't, come on. Man, I'm trying to choose my words wisely. It's church camp. But I'm like, come on, bro. You can't be that. I didn't say it, but I thought, you can't be that dumb. That's what I thought.
You just want to be the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, best costume I saw the night. They had Western night, so people were dressed like cowboys. The best one I saw was a kid. He didn't have cowboy boots. He had it all set up. He looked like Woody from Toy Story.
Oh, that's
who
awesome.
he looked like. That's who he looked like, yeah. Not on purpose, but that's what he looked like. And he just had tennis shoes. I don't use that terminology. It sounds weird. I've never played tennis, so I've never bought tennis shoes.
I've never understood why they were called tennis shoes.
Yeah, it's not. Actually, I want to talk about that in a second. So this kid's wearing tennis shoes for nobody that ever plays tennis. And and he cut out 2 circle pieces of paper, white notebook paper, and taped it to his shoe and wrote boots. And that made me laugh because he wasn't trying to be funny. Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, these are boots."
Yeah, just imagine that these are boots.
These are boots. Yeah, that was it. People have been calling tennis shoes my whole life.
Yes.
Nobody plays tennis. I'm 43 years old. You know how many people I know that play tennis?
How many?
One.
Yeah, me too.
One. And I actually showed up to watch her. I was friends with her. Well, I guess I'm still friends with the family, but I watched her in, I don't know if state, whatever. And I watched, that was it. I know one tennis player. That's it. Who plays tennis?
I don't know. I don't know why they call them tennis shoes.
Yeah, because I mean, guys, put your tennis shoes. I mean, from memory, probably in like basketball practice, they're like, put your tennis shoes on, guys. Yeah. Like, we're not playing tennis, you nerd. I'm playing tennis. I don't know if tennis is nerdy.
No, I think you have to be super athletic.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think?
You do. Yes, you do.
What are you talking? See, when you say stuff like that, it makes me wonder.
They do though. I mean, have you watched like the women's or men professional tennis? They got to fly around. The ball's going at like 100 miles an hour.
Here's what I would like to know, because in baseball, when the radar guns hit them back in the day, the reason they said Nolan Ryan possibly threw 109 miles an hour, 10, whatever it was, is because they would measure the ball speed 10 feet in front of the plate. That was back then. These days, they measure it coming out of your hand. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, whatever. I don't know if it's right out of your hand, like 2 foot, 5 foot, right in front of the plate, or right in front of the mound. So having said that, I don't know in tennis where I don't think when they're hitting it back, it's coming at them at 100 miles an hour. I don't think so. I think know. Because when you hit it, there's no way. It might be 100 right off their racket.
Yeah,
but it hits the ground and skips. So
I think it's when I could totally be wrong, but I think it's when they serve is when they calculate the speed.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go to a tennis club. I just passed one today. It was a soccer tournament this weekend. I'd like to go to a tennis club and get in the club and act like somebody want to play me. I don't know. Maybe they bring their friends to play. Is that what they do?
Probably.
Or is it like pick up basketball at the park?
There's no way.
Like, let's play one-on-one. Okay.
There's people on the side like, I got next.
Yeah, one-on-one. And then just get out of there with a racket, and every time they hit a ball, just hit it over the fence, and then like run in a circle. And then do that like 14, because they're going to laugh maybe once, and then just keep doing it, and then they quit. And they're like, yeah, that's what tennis players do. They quit. Yeah. Real sports.
I think that they would probably call the cops.
That's what I want to tell them. You think they would? What would you tell the cops? If you called the cops, you're like, what's the problem, officer?
This guy is mentally unstable.
They're like, he hit 4 balls over the fence. He's not even playing right. He's not playing right. Oh, good. What a terrible sport it is. Hold up. I'm saying that to be funny, of course, for the show, but I actually think I would like to go watch whatever they have in New York, the Barclays. What is that tournament? U.S. Open?
Yeah, there's one of them.
Like whatever the big one is, it's in New York, and
I don't know which one's in
New York. I'd like to go see that. I actually think that I would like to go.
I think it's cool. I like watching it.
I would watch.
I watch it on TV.
Okay. So I would watch the famous people back when I was a kid. I don't even know who plays tennis now. I could throw out 3 names probably, but I would watch them when I was a kid, and I used to watch Serena Williams. So that's the thing that I did actually do. But I could watch bowling in that setting. Like if it was like Saturday morning at bowling, well, because so as many times as I've been to Major League Baseball games, I've never seen a no-hitter. Well, I've never seen a 300 ever. Like not even TV. So like I watch it. I mean, these guys are the pros.
Yeah.
Hoping that I'd see it. Well, I mean, whatever. If you listen to the podcast, I mean, I do have a 300 bowling ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for that?
Mine was like $49. It was a real collector's piece. So, yeah, but people thought I rolled it. I had the ring. Like this guy's really good at bowling.
He's really good.
So I'm going to buy a tennis ring.
So do you consider?
I'm going to buy a 300 tennis ring.
do you consider bowling a sport?
I mean, I think so, right?
I don't know.
Do you think they have what?
Like, do they have to train for bowling?
Well, yeah. You have to have. Yes. I don't even know how to word that. Yeah, you got to. If you're a pro bowler or pro anything, yeah, I think they train. What I don't think they did, I don't think they went down to prior lanes and was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try my hand at this bowling. And they're like, hey, that's really good. You should be on TV next Saturday. Yeah, they probably train, I guess.
Well, I think I'm differentiating like train and practice. Like, of course, I think they practice, but do they like?
Lift, you mean like
lift weights or do cardio or like just?
I think honestly, probably most bowlers go down to their local bowling hut and probably do 6 ounce curls while training or whatever. You know, I mean, I think that's probably what they do.
Yeah.
I did and I don't know if I've said this before. I think I probably have. There's a bowling guy. I sold him a car. He was on his way from, I don't remember, to or from Kansas City. He was a professional bowler. I sold him a car on the way there. Like, so, you know, there was that. I don't remember his name though.
Oh.
I mean, but even if I told you his name,
I wouldn't know who the heck it was.
yeah, it's like tennis.
Yeah.
I could name like 5 tennis people.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is with most celebrities. Like I thought the guy who just did the concert here at the BOK,
Zach Bryan.
Yeah, see Zach Bryan. So I've heard of his name, and I didn't realize that he was. I didn't realize that was the guy that was local. I thought the local Brian guy, because there's 2 Brians, right, that sing these things in there. 2 country singers with the name of Brian, whatever. So I thought that the guy from
Luke Bryan?
Yeah, that guy probably. I thought the guy from Oolagaw just had a little TikTok song. That's what I thought.
Oh.
That's it. I mean, that's what I thought. And so I thought this was the other guy that sold out the place. And they're like, oh, this guy's from Oolagaw. I'm like, the Oolagaw is not, he's not the Oolagaw. The Oolagaw guy, he's not at BOK.
Yeah.
Like, he just has a TikTok song. Who's going to show up for the TikTok song?
Yeah, he sold out his first show and then put a second show on and that sold out too.
Yeah, I know. How stupid is that? Yeah, I guess the guy doesn't suck. So he probably wears tennis shoes. I never. And then I see people post online that like, oh, greatest show I've ever been to. Which maybe there's probably a lot of energy in the room. Local guy probably. So I don't know if it's good or not. And speaking of that post, I was going to say this. I got to get this out because I think most people think this. As we all know, I didn't have Facebook for as long as it existed, till probably 2 years ago. Three now, probably 3. Why do people? It's stupid. Why do people? You know those where they want you to copy and paste? I'm real selective with my friends. And they're like, if you're my friend, post on the wall, tell me how you met me. And then I'll post on your wall, and I'll tell you how I met you.
I don't ever see those, but I see the ones of like,
Go ahead. I hate those.
No, it's like, if you love God as much as I do and you're not going to burn in hell for eternity, share this. It's so stupid.
No, because I don't do that.
I know.
And honestly, if you're my friend, you would not send it to me because it's stupid. Like, you know, post on, and you post it on your wall and then tag 10 friends. And if you don't, I'm going to delete you. Well, then delete me. You're an idiot. Like, here's the thing about Facebook. I have actual Facebook friends. And well, we all do. I have Facebook friends. Like actual Facebook friends. Somebody I know knew them, and they're like, "Hey, you want to be friends?" And I'm like, "Sure." So there's a few people on there that I don't know, but like personally, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I know when it's their birthday, so when I see them out, even though I don't really know them, I'll be like, "Hey, happy birthday!" Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know if that's the start of real friendship, Facebook friends, but you know, I got some real friends. Where'd I go wrong peeing in the floor earlier?
Tennis shoes.
I don't know. I was going to reference. I don't know where I was going with it. I meant to finish the story. I got all sidetracked about it.
Yeah, the audience is not surprised.
Yeah. Sometimes he's all over the place. So, what do you think, Clayton?
So I have a funny story. So I was talking to my nanny, not my actual nanny. Don't look at the camera like that. That's what intimidates me, and I get anxiety when I start telling stories, and then the stories end up sucking because you're looking at the camera like, oh gosh, here he goes. That's what I have in my brain. Anyways, don't push the button.
All right, go ahead.
So I was talking to my nanny, and she had a doctor's appointment because, you know, my family's getting older. So she had a doctor's appointment. My great granny had a doctor's appointment. And so I was seeing how it went and if everything was good. So she starts telling me, you know, oh, I'm good. Granny needs this done. She's good, blah, blah, blah. She's like, but your Uncle Dale, he's not doing too good. And I was like, what's wrong with him? Because months ago, I think he got COVID and, you know, it hit him hard, but then he bounced back. And so I just saw him recently, and he looked good. And I mean, he's like 89, between 85 and 93, somewhere in there. He's freaking old. So, go ahead.
89?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Something like that. So, he's old. But he looked good. You know, still sharp in the mind, still funny, yada, yada. So I'm like, what's wrong with Dale? And she's like, oh, I don't know. You know, he wasn't feeling well, so he went to the doctor. They said that he had the flu. And he said that he was just done. Like, he signed the do not resuscitate. He told him that he was going to stop his meds, and he was just done. He just wanted to be done fighting. You know, he was ready to go. That's what he kept saying to his daughter. I'm ready to go. So I'm like, oh, that's sad, you know? And so she tells me my Aunt Debbie is taking care of him. And so she was like, yeah, Debbie's calling all the family and friends, and they're saying, you know, just come see him. He has hospice, or he's on hospice care. Somebody's coming to see him and give him his meds, even though he doesn't want to take the meds, and, you know, feeding him and all that stuff. But we don't know, like, you know, how much longer he's going to be holding on because he's on oxygen, yada, yada, yada. Oh. The story goes on. I'm not trying to be depressing. So I'm like, that's horrible. Have you went to go see him? She said, yeah, I went to go see him, yada, yada. So I was planning on going to see him. So I think it was a week later. I had called her and I was checking on him. And she goes, yeah, I guess, I don't know what happened, but he decided that he wanted to live. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, he's starting to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, fix himself breakfast. And this is after got back on his medications. I butchered the story, but got back on his meds and just decided he was calling everybody, just saying, you know, oh yeah, I feel great. I think I got some more years left in me. I'm perfectly healthy.
So here's what I was going to ask you earlier. He just started saying he was feeling bad, and then they put him on hospice. Did any medical staff actually say, oh, yeah, he's probably going to die, or the guy?
I think it was totally him saying, I'm not taking my medicine. I'm assuming he didn't feel good because he had the flu, right?
Oh, yeah.
So in his brain, maybe he thought that was like the end.
He's back, though, right?
And that, yeah, so everybody... I have family in Arkansas who came up to see him on the weekend, and they visited. My nanny said that when they were visiting, he would just be dramatic and just stare off into space, and then look at her and be like, "We got a good family." You know that, Linda? We've had a good family. And so she was like, "Oh crap!" Like she even said, "Like, oh man, when I was sitting there, you know, I was getting kind of emotional because just what the things that he was saying." And then he starts talking to people on the phone to his friends, and he's like, yeah, guys, I'm taking my meds again. I got some good years left in me. My heart's good. My liver's good. My kidneys are good.
Does he drive?
I don't think so.
That'd be fun. You know, now he's back out on the town.
Yeah, just cruising around.
He's like, I'm going to go to Southern style this weekend. So at least he made it, you know?
Yeah, he pulled through.
How old is he?
I don't know.
He's between 83 and 96.
I think that's what I said. Somewhere between there.
I might exaggerate a little on that one.
No, I think I said 83 to 95.
I thought you did. That's why I asked. And I don't know, you didn't have to hit the playback, but I thought you did. So that's why I made a face and thought, like, man, you guys are real close.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, my uncle, he's between 73 and 98, I believe. Somewhere in there, in that range.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I know he's old.
Well, I mean, I'm glad my grandpa's still kicking, by the way. I said that. That sounded like derogatory. Meaning like, oh, he's still kicking, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
He's got a couple. No, he's like rolling. He still drives all over 3 counties. Eats dinner. He eats. I was going to get in the dinner debate. He eats a meal at restaurants 3 times a day. Like,
yeah.
Travels all over and yeah, it's still just rolling.
Yeah.
He'll be 97 next month.
Wow.
Yeah. And like, just as with it as he always was. He has hearing aids now, so that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's had them for a while but he went through a phase before he got the hearing aids. He went through a phase. I went down to his house and I'm like, "Hey, Papa, how are you?" Silence. "Hey, Papa, how are you?" Silence. I mean, I would have to talk so loud. This is no exaggeration. I would have to take a deep breath to say the sentence that I was going to say because I was going to have to talk so loud for him to do it. And to be honest, it was physically exhausting. Yeah. I felt like I worked out after I just talked to him for like an hour because I would do like this. I'm like, "Grandpa, how have things been this week? Is everything good?" And I'm out of air and I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And he would, and he only gives you one word answer. So I got to keep talking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. No, it wears me out. Now he'll tell stories. You just got to get him fired up about deer hunting. Yeah. You got to get him fired about deer hunting. You know what? Let's get off that story. My aunt on Facebook. Well, we just talked about that, and I meant to bring it up. Anything that's ever on Facebook. I don't know if I did a comedy show, or my daughter's played soccer, or I got one daughter. Well, the world. I got one daughter that can draw pretty good. She used to try to sing when she was a kid. I'm not saying that she can't sing. I'm saying that we'd always post videos about it. Whatever the thing was, my aunt, either one of them would get on there like, he's like, "You got that from your Uncle Dool." "You got that from your Aunt Mary." Like, "Yep, just like Mom. You got that from..." Just the other day, somebody posted, somebody drew something and she's like, "Got that from you. Got that from your grandma." I was probably, I don't remember. I'd say I can't pop it off, but I was probably 35 when my grandma passed away. Mm. I never seen her draw ever in my life. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm saying I didn't know that she was an old doodler. Yeah. Turns out that was news to me. I had no idea. What she did do, she would do this. She would, because back then it was all newspapers, of course. And she'd get the Tulsa World and the Daily Times. I think that's what it was called back then. Yeah, the Daily Times, prior Daily Times. And she would cut pictures out. This is every day. She would have scissors by her seat and would cut pictures out if it was actually you or if it just looked like one of her family members. So if it's one of her family members were actually in the paper or it just could even look like you, and she cut it out. She's like, "Look at that right there." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "That looks just like Shorty." It does look like Shorty. And she didn't throw them away either.
Oh,
she had them piled up. She had them piled up. Yeah, that was she had a lot of papers.
Why?
Go ahead.
I mean, like one of my grandma, I mean, she would do that too. Not cut out, but she would just like hoard. Well, actually, my great granny, who I was talking about earlier, she would just hoard like newspaper clippings and magazines. Like, why? Like boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes.
Yep. So did my grandma. I don't know.
Was that their like entertainment? Was that their like TV?
That was the internet. That was their internet.
Yeah. Was that their internet? You know?
Yeah. I don't know what she ever did with the photos that she cut out that just looked like the grandkids. I don't know. I don't know if it was like she kept it a month just to tell everybody when they came over.
Yeah.
It was like, well, I guess I can throw this away. It's not actually them. Yeah, that's the thing that she did. pretty often. I never understood. So, to reference what I was just talking about, my cousin Aaron, his daughter, he takes his daughters fishing, and she caught this pretty big fish, and so and she's a kid, right? So he puts it on Facebook, and my aunt, who's it's not his aunt. He's just related, his third cousin or whatever, and his last name is not my last name. His mom's last name was never my last name. The grandma was married to my papa, who's still alive. I just told you, my grandpa, papa. If that makes any sense to me, just rambling. The point is, he's got his own generations of family that's not the Phillipses, is where I'm going with this. And she caught a fish, and the same aunt looks at the Facebook thing and says, she's like, oh, she's got a little Phillips in her out there fishing. She definitely got the Phillips gene in her. Like we're the only people that fish in Mays County. By the way, and I don't even fish, by the way, but like the Phillips family is the only we reign supreme in fishing.
Yeah, that's what you guys are known for.
Yeah, all the lakes and ponds around there. We fish them out of business. Yeah, they got to restock Lake Hudson when we leave. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't. Do you fish?
No.
I don't either.
It's boring.
There's a lot of people who listen to the show right now are probably mad. Like, it's not boring. Well, I don't know, man. It's like my dad. I mean, that's what we ate when we were kids. So when he would go fishing, it's not like we were just out there just having fun. We'd be out there from dark to dark.
Yeah.
And at some point I just, this is cool, but I can only throw so many rocks, and I couldn't wait out where he was at because I was not, tall enough. And I just wanted to ride bikes. I just wanted to go home and ride bikes with my friends. So, somewhere in there, it faded. I think maybe it has to do with because he always thought you had to get up at 4:30 to go fishing or hunting. And that wasn't my game.
You weren't going to wake up in the forest to...
I don't want to. No, and I was tired, and I'd be out there, and I was freezing.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that he didn't, bundle me up, but before we go deer hunting. But the vivid memory I remember sitting in a tree by myself, my feet are freezing. I'm freezing. It's not like I have all these layered clothes that I learned as an adult going to the mountains a lot. I didn't have that. I might have had long johns on that supposedly long johns is supposedly that's the heat gear. That's heat gear there. You're freezing. If I got one pair of camouflage pants on and one pair of long johns from Walmart that's as thin as the shirt I got on now. By the way, if you can't see it, it's like a linen shirt. Like it's real thin. And heavy socks, thick socks. So my feet can't move. Like I feel like, by the way, that's the thing also that bothers me. If my feet are so confined and I can't move them, I can't. And I'm not even I am not claustrophobic. Like I can crawl into tiny holes and all that. Like, I can do that. It doesn't affect me. But if I can't move them and they're bundled, I got to take it off. I can't do it. Mm-mm.
You got small feet too, so it's something really, really small.
That's funny.
Would have to be on your feet because they're so small.
That's funny that you say that because
Boyd wears a women's 7
because this is a family show, and that's funny because that I'm not going to comment. So it's actually really dumb that you're doing this. So we'll move on to the
real small feet, guys.
That's super cool, guys. So, anyway, well, I'll tell you what. I was in Edmond this week for the soccer tournament. Those are pretty fun. I was going to go somewhere. I was going to close it. I wasn't really going to tell any stories. We were just there 2 days. We got there midday. We play 2 games on Saturday. We stay the night. We drive home. Well, there's nothing really exciting about that.
No.
I mean, the camaraderie, I guess. You hang out with people you don't know, and maybe you cross. Because I'm not always real talkative at practice. I'll talk anybody's leg off, right? I mean, we all know that. But I don't know these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I could be more. I was gonna say forthcoming. That's not the right word. I mean, I could be more friendly and be like, "Hey, I'm Lloyd," but I just want it to naturally happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't. I mean, you know, where are you from? What do you do for a living? Which is basically what you do once you start to. Okay, I've seen you 24 hours in a row, so yeah, let's talk. But there's some cool people I met.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And but I'm not a soccer player.
Yeah, you didn't talk to me in basketball.
Put your soccer shoes on. What's that?
You didn't talk to me in basketball for like the 3 months.
Well, it's because we didn't, you know, I mean, well, I didn't know we didn't know each other, and then you know, you see what I do. I just do what I just walk in and I yell a lot, and then I leave.
I think that you were testing me because you would say jokes and you just wanted to see if I was gonna laugh. And then you saw me laughing, and you're like, "Oh, okay, that guy's pretty cool."
Yeah, but
he laughs at my jokes.
But it's not even. So just because you bring that up, it's not even that I do that to people. Just to, yeah, of course. I mean, I wouldn't say certain things if I wasn't trying to make you laugh, but it's not necessarily what I'm doing when I do that. I'm trying to see if you even get my humor.
Oh,
and if you don't, just as for anybody, and if you don't, then I'm like, yeah, they're weird. I'm sure not everybody loves me. You know, I'm sure they don't, but that's what goes through my head. You know, if they laugh, I'm like, oh, he gets it. Because I'll say stuff under my breath all the time. I do it all the time, and you know, if somebody laughs at it, then I'm like, yeah, they're pretty.
That's actually funny because I think the time that I can't repeat it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the time that we I don't want to use bonded because that sounds really nerdy. But that's what you're doing. you saw people at a basketball event, and you were standing beside my wife and I, and you were whispering stuff under your breath, and we almost passed out because we were laughing so hard.
Yeah, listen, I'm working on that, people. I'm a judger. I mean, I said about every other show, you know, I'm not making it up here. But so anyway, these people there are pretty cool, and we got some we got new podcast listeners. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I saw him at Costco earlier. He's like, yeah, I listened to a couple of your shows, but I was like, what episode? He's like, episode 50, and then I thought, well, I don't know how funny they were back then.
Yeah,
that's right. And I wasn't like, because I don't say that. It's not like I don't have confidence that the show's funny, but I don't say that type of thing anymore. Like, if you go to the old ones, then I'm like, I don't know, maybe it was funny, maybe it wasn't. Because some of them they weren't, which is why, you know, I'll tell you for anybody that's listening right now, I changed it up like where I got somebody to talk to. You know, so if I just stare in the camera, and I could do that too, but it's not natural. It doesn't feel as natural. It's not like I'm.
Well, it's like
having a
you're
conversation.
telling a story and then you're laughing at yourself, which is I would think would be kind of odd when you're laughing to yourself in front of a camera from what you just said, I guess.
Well, yeah, but let me tell you this, by the way. When I would do stand-up comedy shows, I would talk to myself.
Yeah.
If it was like open mic night, I would drive home from work and talk to myself about what I was going to say because I didn't know. It was new. Open mic night's usually something new. For me, I didn't use open mic night to even work on material. Really, like the actual set. I said something new every time I got up there. So whatever happened that week, it's basically like a podcast, right? And so I would I knew that it was going to be funny if when I was trying to say it out loud, if I would start laughing in real life by myself. Like I would always know that it would be funny. And you know, and it probably was sometimes. I never bombed. I bombed that one time. I'm not going to get into the story, but I bombed that one time. I think that was material. Well, I mean, that's why you bomb. It's always material. But,
yeah.
I think it was the topic of material.
Yeah.
And I'm different now, people. We don't, you know, I wouldn't do the same sets I used to do. I mean, they weren't like, you know, well, it's a kid show. They weren't derogatory in the manner in which somebody's head might have just went to. They weren't like that. I just, you know, I would like to do it different. These days. Anyway, all right. Listen, love everybody. I'll get off here. I mean, what do you think, Layton? We good?
Yeah, we're good. Dwayne Wade's in the Hall of Fame, so
success. When did that happen?
a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was probably because of your shout outs because he had no shot previous to you calling it out.
Just
right
like
here at Life and Times podcast.
Just like you're doing with Mr. Pete.
Yeah, he's getting in
Yeah.
real soon.
Real soon.
I hope he's eating healthy because that sounded bad. No, I'm hoping he's eating healthy because it's going to make me mad if he just walks up one day and Pete Rose, because he's not a spring chicken, and they're like, oh, he's not alive anymore. The level of fury that I will have in real life.
You think that like he'll pass away and then they'll put him in?
I actually think that's what's going to happen,
and
it actually disgusts me.
That would be so jacked up.
It disgusts me. I believe, I 100% believe that's exactly what's going to happen.
If you think that he should be in the Hall of Fame too, smash that like button.
Well, I'm going to jump off here. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, everybody, and all right, love you.